In the vast wilderness of Tibet, surrounded by snow-capped mountains and ancient valleys, a hero was born. A hero whose name would echo through the ages. King Gesar of Ling. King Gesar of Ling is more than a man. He's a ruler, a warrior, and a symbol of bravery woven into the fabric of Tibetan folklore. But his story begins humbly, far from the glory he would one day achieve. Despite his humble beginnings, even as a child, Gesar exhibited qualities that set him apart from the other children in the village. His strength and cleverness in play were reflections of the skills he would soon master in battle. Villagers often remarked on his charisma, which seemed to draw people and animals alike to him. Gesar's birth was not one shrouded in grandeur, but even in the most humble of beginnings, greatness can arise. His mother sensed clearly on that her son was no ordinary child. From the moment he took his first breath, Gesar's future was set on a path toward leadership. Yet his early life was not easy. Jealousy and fear of his potential led to betrayal. Though Gesar's mother nurtured him with care and wisdom, she knew that the world beyond their village would test him. The villagers whispered about his remarkable calmness as an infant, how he rarely cried, and how his eyes seemed to take in more than what was visible. His upbringing was one of love, but the shadow of envy loomed large. His uncle, driven by greed and the fear of losing his influence, plotted to keep Gesar from claiming his rightful place as a leader. Banished from his village by those who feared his strength, Gesar grew up in the wild lands of Tibet. But rather than being defeated, the exile shaped him into the warrior he would become. He tamed wild horses and learned to survive in the harsh environment of the highlands. Through the trials of the wilderness, Gesar honed his physical and mental strength, preparing himself for the challenges ahead. In the wilderness, Gesar found companionship in the untamed forces of nature. The mountains became his mentors, teaching him endurance and resilience, while the wild animals became his silent allies. He learned to track prey with precision, read the wind for signs of danger, and find strength in solitude. It was in these isolated years that he connected deeply with King Gesar, his loyal horse, with whom he formed an unbreakable bond. Together they roamed the vast plains, symbols of freedom and power. When the time came to decide the ruler of Ling, a great contest was held. The most powerful warriors and nobles gathered to prove their worth. Yet it was Gesar, the mysterious young man from Exile, who triumphed over them all. With his unmatched skills in combat and strategy, he won every challenge and was crowned the King of Ling, securing his rightful place as a leader. Gesar's victory in the contest was not just triumph of physical strength, but also of intellect and strategy. He carefully observed the weakness of his rivals, outsmarting them at every turn. His ability to lead and inspire was clear to all who witnessed the event, as even the most seasoned warriors came to respect his skill and wisdom. As king, Gesar's rule was defined by justice and fairness. He listened to the voices of his people, and his leadership was one of strength, tempered by compassion. His kingdom prospered under his reign, with peace and stability spreading across the land. Yet the peace was fragile, for powerful enemies lurked beyond the borders of Ling. Beyond the throne room, Gesar often walked among his people, hearing their concerns firsthand. He took counsel not only from the nobles and warriors, but also from the farmers, artisans, and merchants who made up his kingdom. His reign was marked by a balance of strength and humility. He knew the value of strong defense, but also understood that the heart of his kingdom lay in the happiness and prosperity of its people. The kingdom of Ling, the homeland of King Gesar, was a place of both beauty and resilience. Nestled in the heart of the Tibetan plateau, the kingdom of Ling was surrounded by towering mountains that protected its people from invaders. The land was rich and fertile, with rivers that provided life to its villages. Its people were farmers, traders, and warriors, living in harmony with the land while being ever prepared to defend it. Ling was more than just a kingdom. It was a symbol of balance, a place where prosperity and danger coexisted. Under Gesar's leadership, it became a stronghold of power and culture, known far and wide for its bravery and wisdom. The kingdom was a key player in the region, a beacon of hope for its allies and a formidable opponent to its enemies. Gesar's greatest battles were fought not against men, but against the demonic kings who sought to plunge the world into chaos according to the Tibetan folklore. These were no ordinary foes. They were creatures of darkness, with strength and powers beyond mortal comprehension. In one of his most famous battles, Gesar faced the ruthless demon king, Nyagba. The battle raged for days, with Gesar fighting at the forefront, but in the end, his tactical genius and unparalleled skill brought victory to his people. Though outnumbered and facing enemies of immense strength, Gesar's strategic mind turned the tide of the battle. He used the terrain to his advantage, positioning his forces where they could strike decisively. His soldiers, inspired by his fearlessness, fought with the courage of lions. Gesar's presence on the battlefield was like a beacon. Wherever he rode, his enemies faltered. The defeat of Nyagba became a tale told for generations, a symbol of Gesar's unbreakable will. His legend grew beyond the borders of Ling. His fame spread across Tibet and neighboring regions. He traveled far, confronting warlords and bringing peace to troubled lands. His strength in battle was matched only by his wisdom. Wherever he went, he left behind tales of honor and justice, earning the respect of both friend and foe alike. His journeys were not always for conquest. Gesar sought knowledge and understanding, engaging with other cultures and learning from their ways. He met with sages and scholars, absorbing their wisdom to better govern his own people. Even in his later years, Gesar never shied away from battle. In his final conflict, Gesar faced a threat unlike any he had encountered before. The battle was fierce, and though he triumphed once again, it marked the end of his time on Earth. After the dust settled, Gesar disappeared from the world. Some say he rode off into the mountains, choosing a quiet end away from the throne. Others believe he simply walked away, knowing his people were safe. Many believe that his disappearance was intentional, that he knew it was time to let his people flourish on their own. Others say he ascended into legend, living on not in a physical form, but through the spirit he left behind. Though King Gesar's mortal journey ended, his legacy lives on the stories passed down through generations. King Gesar remains an enduring figure in Tibetan culture, a symbol of what it means to be a true leader and a warrior. The story of Gesar continued to be told in temples in the Tibet, keeping his story alive. But as with all legends, the line between myth and history blurs, leaving us to wonder how much of their story was real and how much was simply legend. And so the tale of King Gesar ends. Thank you for joining us through Tibet folklore. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more legends and folklore from around the globe. Until next time, keep wondering.